Hi, this is Johnny Burgin with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson, and maybe you recognize that Otis Rush, right place, wrong time. Just a quick note before we get into it. I'm going to take next week off for the Christmas holiday and come back at you for one more time in 24. And yes, I will be rocking these lessons every Monday in 25. So stick around. Lots of good stuff coming your way, and keep the comments coming. Keep the requests coming. It's always great to hear from you guys. So this tune always knocks me out, and the closer I get to it, the further away it gets, you know. Let's talk about the form of the song. This has a little 2-beat pickup thing, which also happens in the 2-bar intro, and I'll explain. You've got this thing. So I'm going to play that, and I'm going to change my fingering around. This is kind of the Freddie King fingering, I call it, versus the sort of school fingering, which is... That's okay, but it doesn't have the kind of swagger that it has if you do it this way, to me. So far, so good on the 5th and 7th frets of the A and D string. Now we're going to take the 3rd finger and hit the E note, 7th fret, and slide it down 2 frets. So here we go. Then your first finger's ready here. It just has more meat there. Yeah. Sounds like you're really walking into it. Rather than... Anyway, so let's try that, and then we're going to keep going. C bar chord for 4 beats. And now D bar chord for 2 beats, and then last 2 beats. A ninth. Oh, I'm always at the right place at the wrong time. Quick change. You can just slide in. He slides in. I'm talking about the rhythm guitar player now. Slides into his chords, and we'll get to that. But there's one more cool thing that happens, not at the very intro, but it happens with this C and D chord throughout the rest of the song. So let's say you're doing this. Your C bar chord. Now check this out. This is a first inversion. You hear this a lot in soul, R&B, hear it everywhere. Songs like The Wind Cries Mary has this. It's everywhere once you know it. So I'm trying to get my fingers out of the way so you can see it. But if you'll notice, like here's a C chord. And here's the 3rd of the C chord, the E. We're going to hammer onto this E, but we're going to do it out of this position. So, and then I did the same thing in D, right? First finger 7th fret, and then you got to cover up that A string and then hammer this on. Yeah, it feels good. And then here we go. There you go. Then the singing comes in. So does everybody understand that? Okay. Bassline. Now, I did a loop that you heard where I sort of did a combination of the rhythm guitar and the bass line. The bass line is just this. Same bass line that's in Driving Wheel and so many blues songs. And Blue Guitar by Earl Hooker. And this song definitely has some Earl Hooker influence in here. There's a few things that we'll get to. I think Earl Hooker is almost like the secret ingredient that helped make Otis's mix of things so different. At least one of them, but a big one. Anyway, so this is kind of based on this fingering of a major scale, except this time let's flat the 7th. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No big deal. Just count 7 from your A. So. Or you can change your fingering around. top part of it, ninth chord. I like the way the sliding chords kind of make room for the horns. There's your C with the first inversion. So the real rhythm guitar doesn't play all that, but I did something kind of like that with my loop. I was trying to be in two places at once. But it's always good to know that bass line, because then you can tell someone that if you're at a jam or something. Hey, can you play something like this? It's also in that song I love so much, I Walked from Dallas by Howlin' Wolf, that I did a lesson on that one. That one, they sort of rev it up. Every time I play that, it always gives me a smile. You know, I think about Hubert, and it makes me smile with that. Anyway, getting off the subject, I've had a tough time with that today, man. Been all over the place. Must be the holidays. So now let's get to some of the lead. Now, this is freaking hard. The first statement of the lead, I'm pretty damn sure that he is bending on the E string. And it's a real slow two-step bend. I would recommend slowing this down and really seeing just how slow it is. He goes. I mean, see if you can bend that slow. And then try it here. This is. And then. I forget what happened after that. Yeah. Now you got a choice with your fingering there. It's that kind of stuff that almost sounds like he's sliding, doesn't it? You know? And so I don't know if he's fingering it like this. But sometimes I don't hear the pull off. I just hear the long line that's kind of uninterrupted. It reminds me of like when Earl Hooker goes stuff like this with his slide. You know, that was more in the key of E. So that's very slidey to me. So it's very singable and very slidey. Do 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 do. Do 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 do, and then you keep bumping it. Or oh, so the trick is to play real slow. Slow it down and play real slow. I'm pretty sure that's the way that goes. I had to slow that down a lot. Yeah. But he puts that da 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 or da da da. You know, there's this 5th fret and 5th fret. And he always closes. His phrases are sort of open, closed, open, closed. I mean, open, closed, right? And it's sort of like a punctuation of a sentence. So then there's something really cool that happens on the 5. That's another real slidey sort of thing, isn't it? Ah. I messed that up in the demo at the top of the lesson. I went, but it'd be. Yeah, and then that da 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 da. So you might want to do that with your first finger. And you might want to do that with your first finger there. When I do that one, I sort of stick my elbow out a little bit and have it as a fulcrum. But Otis Rush had such incredibly strong hands. Like, he's really crying, really taking his time. I think the best solo, it's funny, there's 4 solos. Or there's an intro, an outro, and 2 solos. And the outro is kind of a more perfect version of a refinement of the beginning, it seems to me. And then the solo is a different thing entirely, and that's where he's really playing a classic blues solo. Da 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 da. Which, he's probably fingering it differently. See if you can add that little thing in there. And then he puts this in there too, the BB thing, Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. This is a hard tune. And let's just go out with the looper again. I love that da da da. And then, of course, the ending is just amazing. Dum 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 dum. Something like that, and he just stings you with that last note. Yeah, but the best part, I think, some of my favorite licks in the song are when he goes, and that's kind of like he went sort of wandering down in the lower parts of the chords, and then he sort of worked his way back to the top, And to hit that, which is 8th and 10th, right when you hit this, is one of the best places it could possibly go. It says, yes, now we're here, So there is so much in this song, I hope that you enjoy trying to play it. Another great one is Albert King's "You're Gonna Need Me." Same kind of thing with the 3, 4. Yeah. We've talked about Otis Rush several times on this channel because he's really one of the great synthesizers of all the great benders. He sounds so emotional, and his music will live on forever. But it's really interesting to hear some of that Earl Hooker stuff in its own little way, like this kind of thing. It sounds very much like a slide. And then there's another time when just the fill, he goes something like that, or just, it's like he bends it first and then hits it. So it sounds like it's crying. Something like that. Anyhow, join me on Patreon for weekly guitar chats and to support these free videos every Monday. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great holiday season and see you next time.